Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's early morning, it's just before 6, and we have this magnificent cruise ship coming in to the international passenger terminal to tie up, to let off its passengers. It's the Majestic Princess. But on that ship, there are over 800 cases of COVID-19. Just seems like yesterday when we had the Ruby Princess come in with a similar sort of issue. Anyway, we'll see how this transpires, but this magnificent ship, which I saw actually leave a few days ago, or maybe a week ago, is coming back with some issues. I feel for all the passengers. You pay thousands of dollars to go on a cruise, and it doesn't always work out the way you planned. Anyway, let's hope that everything is fine. I'm sure it will be. But I don't see too many people with masks around this area here, and I don't see anybody on the ship there with masks either, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. It could be overstated in terms of how big this issue is, but this COVID-19 doesn't seem to want to go away. Anyway, enough of that. What I'd like to do today is go on a walk and talk. I start work at 6:30, so I can make my way round to Barangaroo Park there and talk about a book summary like I normally do. I just can't believe that over the past 2.5 years I've been able to generate almost 1,500 vlogs. And I was looking at the statistics the other day, and I was saying to myself that if my granddaughters watched one a week, it would take 30 years for them to get through my YouTube channel. So prolific have I been, so focused, so committed to the task have I been over the past 2.5 years. It just goes to show that whoever you are, you know, if you start something and you continue it in a managed process, then anything is possible. And as I say, I just do one at a time, and one leads to two, leads to four, and before you know it, with compounding, you're able to generate a huge amount of content. And as I said, I've got to the point now where I'm probably the most prolific vlogger in the world on personal development material. And not only am I prolific in terms of my vlogging, I also have a variability that few other presenters have, because what I've chosen to do is I've chosen to deliver and vlog on book summaries covering a whole range of subjects. So by doing that, we get an opportunity to learn about lots of different things. We get an opportunity to go to the well of knowledge, to drink of wisdom from many authors across many subjects, so that we can enhance our capabilities, because as we know, learning is the ability to attach the unknown to the known, and the more that we know, the more that we're capable of knowing. So join me on this journey of discovery, where we become lifelong learners. We wake up every day looking to learn something new, looking to add something new in terms of experiences to what we already know, and we also look to not only take our slithers of reality, because each and every one of us can only live one life at a time from a physical perspective, but what you can do is you can take those slithers of reality that you accumulate day by day, and you can add them to the slithers of reality that other people have through OPE. But I think it's important to understand also that you just don't take any slithers of reality. You need to be discerning. You need to be in a position to identify people's opinions that are more heavyweight, because the world is full of opinion. The world is full of people who think that they are thought leaders, but of those opinions, of those thought leaders, many are lightweight, many are featherweight, and only very, very few are heavyweight. So the call to action, of course, for all of us is to be discerning with who we listen to, what we take on board, what we read, because whatever you do along the way, you're going to be adding to your OPE, other people's experiences, and that OPE is going to be shaping and colouring and shading your worldview, your ability to deal with the challenges that we all invariably face through life. And by taking OPE, by taking valuable OPE, should I say, then and only then you are going to have a balanced view and be in a position, as we said, to move forward in a positive and constructive and a purposeful pace. Wow, there's another cruise ship out there as well. I don't know if that's going or coming, but it's docked over there, I think, near the zoo. Anyway, without further ado, let's continue along our path of walking and talking on this magnificent Sydney spring morning. There's hardly a breeze. It's just absolutely magnificent. So what we're going to do today is go through a book summary, and the book summary is entitled Loonshots by an author named Safi Bahcall. Safi Bahcall has put together a book called Loonshots, and this book focuses on corporate innovation and the culture that you require within a business in order to nurture, incubate, implement and build and maintain innovation which leads to further success and corporate leadership. So the author tells us that innovation is basically experimentation on steroids, and it's all about risk taking and learning how to weave risk and innovation into your business. And most importantly of all, the author says that we need to strike a balance between innovation and standard business success, because people like Steve Jobs were great innovators, were powerful innovators, but he was actually sacked from his own organisation. He was kicked out of Apple because he was spending far too much time focusing on innovation and not enough time focusing on the breadwinners, on making money, on keeping the stakeholders happy. So there's a lesson for all of us that we need to have one foot in the future and one foot in the present. And unless we can make the present successful, then the future is not guaranteed for anyone. I fondly remember back in the mid-80s joining IBM, and IBM was a market leader in IT, information technology. And I remember back then I was amazed to hear that IBM spent 5% of its revenue or 5% of its profit, I forget what it was, on innovation, on doing things better, learning, and just trying to stay ahead of the competition. And I remember back in those days as well, I went to see Greg Norman playing one of the golf tournaments. I think it was a PGA or something here in Australia. And Greg Norman says, I train hard to get to the top, and I've got to train even harder once I'm here to stay at the top. And similarly, businesses need to invest in their future, and they also need to continue to nurture and manage the breadwinners to keep everybody happy and everybody employed. So another glorious morning here in Sydney, as you can see. Not too many people about. The sunrise is just starting to appear over there in the east. So what I'll do is I'll go down here to the Harbour Bridge and get a better angle to see it and enjoy it. So what else can we learn here? So as we said, this book is all about innovation, and innovation needs crazy people to do crazy things. So the big question that the author raises is, how do you build an environment to foster and enable crazy people to be doing crazy things, at the same time having them work within an environment where you've got conservative people doing conservative things, because we need both hands working in unison. We need innovation to seed our future, and we also need the breadwinners. We need the standard business processes to continue to build the business, to bring in the revenues, to pay the expenses, and to issue the dividends and the profitability for our stakeholders and shareholders. So big business has big problems, but big business needs, as we said before, to both innovate and to implement what it currently has. And we also need to understand and to appreciate and to welcome that breakthrough and innovations are quite rare. So you need to back a large number of failures before you get a winner. But the winner is worth it many times over. So you just don't know which idea, which product is going to be the winner. You just never ever know which one it's going to be. And that's why you need to invest in multiple streams of innovation, because the one that stands out, the one that pops out on top, is going to pay for all the failures many times over. So the sun is coming up, the people are here to enjoy it, to savour it. Here we go. Let me go around the other side here and get a peek of that sunrise. Here we are, How beautiful is that? We've got that icon, the Sydney Opera House, which was completed in 1972-73, and I remember during the days when it was built and when it was revealed how most people absolutely hated it, saying what an ugly, ugly building, what an ugly site. And yet today, on the 12th of November 2022, I can look across there and say what a beautiful building, a building that people come from all over the world to check out, to admire, and a building which enables Sydney, Australia, to stand out as one of the best holiday destinations in the world. Anyway, let's go on and see what else we can glean from this book summary. So the author here says that success comes from fostering the right work environment that nurtures creativity. I remember back in the 80s, I forget when it was, back in the maybe that must have been the 90s. Back in the 90s, Nokia was the market leader for a while in mobile phones, and it looked like it was never ever going to give up that leadership. But what happened to Nokia is a lesson to all of us. Nokia got to the top through innovation, through its colourful phones, through its small phones with its ringtones and all of that sort of thing. And then guess what? It got to the lead, and then it became conservative. And because of that conservative stance, it failed to continue to innovate. It failed to do what it needed to do in order to stay at the top of its game. So once again, you've got Apple at the other end of the spectrum, who was investing, as we said before, far too much time, far too much money in innovation, where Steve Jobs got carried away and actually got sacked. Sacked from his own organisation for being too innovative and not being focused enough on business and making money. So, but Apple, to its credit, did find the right balance where it innovated, it kept on reinventing itself, and was able to innovate and make money and make profits and maximise its position to the point now where it is market leader. We don't know how long it'll be market leader for, because as we've seen over the years in the IT industry, the organisations who are leaders eventually succumb and lose that leadership because of other breakthrough opportunities that come along the way. So the author here makes another valuable point that I've learnt over the years as well, that being too conservative, being too risk averse is actually very, very risky, especially in an environment that is quickly changing. Over the years, for an example, my jobs, my roles have become redundant on 5 different occasions. So I've had to continue to reinvent myself over time to stay relevant, and I dare say that my children and grandchildren may go through a similar process, given the level and the pace of change that we're experiencing in today's business environment and also social environments as well. So the big lesson there is invest in yourself and continue to invest in yourself, and don't be afraid to continue to change, because change is inevitable. change will continue forever and a day. And the highest risk you can take is by not taking on risk at all. The bottom line is we need to manage risk and to bet big, to bet very, very big when you feel that you're on a winner. Just like in the days when I was at university playing Manila, playing poker with my uni friends, you realise that it's not about winning or having the winning hand. You basically have to build the pot along the way so that when you do win, it's worth your while. So you get paid for that risk that you take. The next point that the author makes is that innovators and thought leaders are key to success, and they're not different to any other worker. At the end of the day, the thought leaders and innovators are just normal workers like you and I, who are given the opportunity to perfect their ideas and are given resources to be able to do what they do. But we need a balance of innovation for the future and the breadwinners for present, as we said before. And we need to keep and maintain a healthy relationship between the two. Because on the one hand we've got fee earners, and on the other hand we have the fee burners. But you need both. You need the ideas to be generated, you need the existing business to continue, and some will be the winners of tomorrow, some will be the losers of tomorrow, but hopefully we need a balance, as we said, so that we get the formula right. But we need to keep on growing and developing. So the last couple of points to come out of this book summary is where the author says, let me just capture this in shot here. Can I get the cruise ship up there? There's a cruise ship up there as well, another cruise ship coming in. That Loonshots, these crazy ideas, these bouts of innovation, have a very short lifespan, but they are game changers. And we need to be open and attentive to innovation. And I remember back in the year 2000, I was working for an organisation called Optus in the IT&T industry that focused on telecommunications networks and data networks. But back then we'd be working on bids with organisations, and we would be putting together some really innovative sort of solutions. And what the organisation was doing then was working with the clients to come up with an innovation, a new idea, and using that client or using that bid to then foster a product, to develop a product. So we were productizing the stuff that we were working on with some of our major clients. So we're taking the risk, sharing the costs with the clients as the products were being developed or the concept was being developed, and then taking that idea, using that client as an anchor client to cover a portion of the costs, and then adding other clients to the platform and building a new network, building a new product, and which is called innovation. But it's not only innovation, it's called innovation which has been productized, revenue generating and profit making and cost covering. So at the end of the day, we all have to have a crack. We all have to do our best. And I guess they're the key points that I want to cover this morning on this busy morning in Sydney town. We've got the Majestic Princess that has come in, and we've got another cruise liner cruise ship that is about to go under the harbour bridge now and go over there to Balmain. And there's another one, as we said, docked over there on the other side where the zoo is, Taronga Park Zoo. So an awesome day, big day, and I thank you for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. And I'll just keep on filming just for a few more moments to get the ship coming under the bridge. And I guess the big lessons from this book here is we need to innovate, we need to manage those innovations, we need to have environments that foster risk taking, but to find that balance between taking the risks and also making money and paying the bills. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there for now, but another wonderful day, and it's going to be a perfect day. Not perfect for work, but perfect for those who are travelling to Sydney on holidays, prepping themselves for Christmas. I'll just go up here on this grass bank to get a better view of that ship coming under the harbour bridge so that we can finish up this vlog. Here we go. How good is that? There are people who come from all over the world to do what I am doing right here and now, standing under this majestic, this magnificent Sydney Harbour Bridge and watching the Nordam, a cruise liner, coming in on this magnificent spring morning. Anyway, take care everybody, have a great rest of the day, and wishing you all the very best. Bye for now.